Viewers, you're welcome to another episode of Data Analytics with Python Beginner's Guide. My name remains Vincent Hope, your instructor. Today we're going to be dealing with a lot of stuff, so let's look at the things we're going to be working on. We're going to be working on tuples, strings, dictionaries, sets, NumPy, and Pandas. Let's have an idea of what they all mean in Python, because they are very important when you are carrying out data analytics. Now let's start with tuples. It says that tuples are lists that are unchangeable. Unlike normal lists, they are enclosed in parentheses. This is a parenthesis, which is a bracket, instead of square brackets. Lists are enclosed in square brackets. Tuples are enclosed in parentheses. Same operations in lists applies in tuples, but you cannot add or delete from it. So let's take some examples. We use this tuple list here. Tuple equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Let me make this closer. Okay, now if you say print tuple, you run it, it will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you add another element to it, put comma 6, you run it, it will give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a new element. Now, if you want to get an exact number of a tuple, exact value, you can type tuple and just open brackets. Let's say we are looking for 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's say we are looking for the element 3, which is index 3. So I type 3 here. If I run it now, I run. Okay, it's coming up. So you can see that index 3 is 4, which is the fourth element here, because it's index 3. It starts from 0, 1, 2, 3. So now let's remove this so that it doesn't affect our operations. Now let's make progress. Now we're still talking about tuples. Now we said that you can also slice a tuple. You have a tuple. The tuple here is from 1 to 6. So whether I want elements 0 to 4, or I want elements 0 to 3, which will only take 0, 1, and 2, which will eliminate 3. If I run it, okay, you can see 1, 2, 3. It takes 0, 1, 2, 3. So, okay, it's like 0 to 2. Sorry, 0, 1, and 2. So it takes 0, 1, and 2. If I take the 0 to 2, I run it, it will take the first two elements, which is 0 and 1. It eliminates the 2. So let's make progress. Now we have tuple.delete. When you run this program, it gives you an error and it tells you that tuple object has no attribute delete, which we talked about. In tuples, you cannot add items, you cannot delete items. Once they're in parentheses, you cannot do that. Now let's make progress. Now let's come to strings. What are strings? Strings are lists that are also unchangeable, immutable. Same operation in list apply to strings. Now, for example, if you have a string which is equals to ISP computers and you run it, if you run it now, the output is ISP computers. Now, if you want to print you want to slice from element 5 from the string, or from element 4 from the string. What is element 4? We have 0, 1, 2, 3. The computer is the fourth one. If I run this, it will remove 0, 1, 2, 3 from the third elements and take off. If I take for 5, it will remove the first 4 elements, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, which is a space. Then the fourth one, I run it. You can see it has removed the C, the ISP, the space, and the C. So now let's continue. Let's make progress. Now you can also find the length of a string, which is the number of characters it has. If you run this, it gives you 13. So if you count the characters here, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the space, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 characters. It can also, you can use that string to get the uppercase. String uppercase will change all the character to uppercase letters, while string dot lower will change all the characters to lowercase. String dot title will, when you run it, it will make the first two characters of the words capital letter here, capital letter here. Now let's make progress. Okay, now we have we can also add two strings once they're inverted comma. This ISP International plus computers, both in inverted commas. If I run it, it gives me ISP International computers. If I decide to remove this and I add one more character, for example, plus, put it in inverted, ISP computers limited, for example, I put LTD and I run it, you can see ISP computers limited. If I want the space, I have to put the space in before the L and I run it. Okay, you can see how it appears now. So this is cute. So let's make progress. So we are done with strings, how to work with strings in Python. Let's come to dictionaries. So what are dictionaries? Dictionaries are also interchangeable lists that come in pairs. That is important. It comes in pairs, which are keys and their values. Keys and their values. So what are those keys, for example, now? So look at this word here, dictionary. You have name is Jude. The age here is 40. Text characters don't stay in, they stay, numeric characters stay low. They don't stay in inverted commas. Cities is Lagos. Now, it said print dictionary. So if I run this now, so name Jude, age 40, city Lagos. I can decide to change this age here to 50, for example, run it. Okay, you can see age has changed to 50. Now, if I want the value, if I want to get the value of a key, this is the value of a key. I just type I take the key and place it here. I run it. It comes back as Jude. I do the same for age. If I take age, I run it. It comes back at 50 because it's printing the values for it. So that's how you do that in Python. Now let's make progress. Now, if I run for that of sex, if I run it, okay. Now this is how to add a value to a dictionary. I add a new value, which is sex, and I say it's equal to male. Now if you look at it now, I have name, age, city, the new value, sex. If I decide to make this, let's say weight, I'm changing it to weight, and I change the weight to 35, for example, or 32, or 32, 35, and I run it. You can see the weight. It added the sex before, it also added another one, weight. So that's how you add to your dictionaries. Now let's make progress. So if you can add, you can also delete. To delete from a dictionary, suppose I want to delete age, the age key. Once I run it, the age key is deleted. So we have now name, city, no age, sex, and the weight added. If I also want to display only the keys, I run it. Now the keys are the name, city, sex, and weight, the keys. If I want to display only the values, I run it. It's dict.values. It will show you only the values. That is the values, Jude, Lagos, male, 35. So that's how you work with dictionaries. If I want to display all the values, I take dict.items and I run it. It will show me it will display it in tuples. You can see that in brackets, name is Jude, city, Lagos, sex, male, weight, 35 in tuples. Now let's make progress. Now to display data in tabular form using dictionaries, if I run this, now what do we have here? Dictionary equals to name, semicolon, we put a bracket, a square bracket here, type Jude, KC, Mark, age, 40, 45, 25, city, Lagos, New York. Look at, make sure you understand how it works here. If I run it, okay, it's see now, the name, the same thing, age, Jude, KC, Mark, age, 45, that means for Jude, it's 40, for KC, it is 45, and New York, and it continues like that. So that's how you work with dictionaries. Now let's make progress. Now let's talk about sets. Okay. Now sets are lists with unique set of data. No two data in a set is the same. No two data. For example, this is a unique set. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the numbers are unique on their own. They are not similar in any way. Now to add data to a set, this is set 1 equals to this. Set 1 dot add. You're adding the value 9. Now say print, that is set 1. By the time you run it, if you run it, you see you have 1, 2, 3, 4 to 9. Supposing I make this one 19 just for a change, and I run it, you can see it is added 19. So that's how you add to a set. Okay. Now to remove from a data from a set, set 1 is equal to this, remove 5, remove number 5. You run it, okay, what's up? You remove the dot number 5. Okay, let me go back and run this one properly. Run this. Okay, let me check my network. Okay, network is working well. So sets, let me put 9 back as it was run. Okay, I run this 9. Okay, I come back here, I remove 5. Okay, set remove 5. I'm supposed to display it. So now say set 1, and I run it. You can see in the set now 5 has been removed. I did not put the instruction to display the sets, the output. So, but you don't have 5, 4. It's supposed to be 4, 5, 6, but it's 4, 6 now. Now I come down here. Okay. I now said you can add 2 sets together. Now let me bring it down a bit. Now set operations, you have union. You can see set 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have set 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So if you put them together, what would you have? You have set 1 dot union set 2. Now by the time you run it, you have a combination of both. So the ones that are similar are just combined as 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's how you work with sets in Python. Now, if you also want intersection, that means you are trying to find out what is common between the 2 sets. If you check here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, set 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What is common is 3, 4, 5. If you run it, you see that you have 3, 4, 5. So it's set 1 dot intersection set 2. Now you come to this too. So in this one too, if you want to know what is the difference between set 1 and set 2, you say set 1 dot difference set 2. This is set 1, this is set 2. What is the difference between the two? When you run it, you discover the difference between the two is just 1 and 2, which is the output here. So that's how to work with sets. So now we're making progress. Okay, now we come to NumPy array. What are NumPy arrays? NumPy, which stands for numerical Python. Numerical means numbers Python. is a type of data structure or way of organizing data in an array format, so that it can be efficiently accessed and utilized by Python. NumPy arrays only allows data of the same type to be stored. They can be 1, 2, or 3-dimensional depending on the use. And one thing you should know about NumPy is that they store numerical data, which is numbers. Now, to access NumPy data structure or dictionary or library in Python, you have to enter this command: imports NumPy as MP. You can decide to change this to CD or anything, but usually the standard is just to use the word NumPy, which is NP, just a short code. So now to work with it, and you have to execute it so that it will be in the memory. To work with it now, you have list 1. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You say a list, open and close brackets. Array 1, which is, we just said array now, is equals to NumPy, which is what you have loaded, dot array. We said NumPy is an array. You pass these lists into it. You can see say pass list into NumPy dot array. This is the function in the bracket, which is what we just did here. Then type. You now have to find what kind of, if you want to use the formula to find out what is in array 1. If you run it, you say NumPy array, ND array is an array. NumPy is an array. Now let's make progress. Okay, now list 1, for example, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. List 2 is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now if you say array 2, remember, equals to mp.array. This is the formula, mp.array list 1. Put in list 1 here and list 2, and you now say print array 2 because this has been passed into this. When you run it, NumPy gives you an array. The first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on top, and the second one, 3, 4, 5, 6 below. So this is your array here. Now let's make progress. Now if you want to find the shape of the array, you say array2.shape. When you run it, it says that it has 2, 6. It means it has 2 rows and 6 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what it means. Then you want to display NumPy size. That's the number of elements. You say array2.size. You run it to give you the size. That means inside the array you have 12 components. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then you also want to secure a particular element in the array, or you want to get it array 2. This is row 1, column 4. So this is row 1, column 4. You say 1, 2, 3. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. What is there? Is 5. So supposing I want row 2 and I want to check what is on column 3, for example, and I run it. If we check it, row 2. Okay, let me undo. Let me go back a bit, run my code very well, because if it's not run properly, it affects everything in the memory. I run this. Okay, so the one we did 1, 2. So let me do row 0 and 3, and I run it. Beautiful. So 0, 0. So it's supposed to be 0 and 1. The row is, let me go back down a bit. Sorry. This is 0. This is 1. So 1 and 3. So 1 is row 1 here. On the third one, row 1, then 0, 1, 2, 3. What do you have? You have 4, the number 4, which is what is shown here. Now let's make progress. Now you want to add the array 2 plus 10. It will add 10 to every of the elements. If I run it, every of the elements will be added. 10 will be added. If you check the elements here, each of these elements, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 was added. That was what generated this one. Then if you want to calculate the mean now, you say np.min, you pass the array to here, so you run it. So it's 4.580. That's how to calculate the mean. Then for the standard deviation, come the standard deviation np.std, which is standard deviation .array2. It will give you, since we have changed the values, it will change a bit. 2.319 flagged. Then if you also want to find square root of the numbers, it will be np.sqrt, put past the array here, you run it. Okay, so this is the square root of each of the elements in the array. So that's about NumPy. So now finally we'll deal with Pandas. Now Pandas, unlike NumPy, which supports numerical data in an array format, the Pandas library in Python supports tabular data, which can be both numerical and string. NumPy only supports numbers. Pandas supports both numbers and string and text. Pandas work with Excel sheets and comma separated value files, CSV. You'll be hearing a lot about CSV files, but let's make progress. So you want to work with Pandas as you do for NumPy. You have to import Pandas as PD. PD is just a standard text. It can be AC or BC or anything, but we're using PD. Now, for example, you have table 1 equals to PD pandas.series. Data is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Index is A, B, C, D. If we run this and you say now say run this table 1, how does table 1 look like? You see A here is 1, B is 2, C is 3. These are the indexed. These are the data, and it tells you the data type is integer. Now let's make progress. Now, if you input using Pandas library, you say dictionary dic is equals to open brackets A equals to 5, if keyword value, B keyword 10 value, C keyword 15 value, D keyword 20 value. So we now say series 2, we pass this dictionary, p.series into dictionary. By the time we say series 2 here and we run it, it will give us the code here. So when it gives us the code here, so we can say we are making progress. Now you want to say a particular value of a from a key. You can say series2.a here. If you run it, it gives you 5 here because it has changed a bit. So A here is 5. So now we are wrapping up. So we have series 2, 1, the element index 1, between 1 and 3 here, it gives you B and C. It gives you B and C. You can calculate from, if you check it out from here, so you calculate from, it eliminates this one and takes the 2, 1 and 2, which are the 2 elements here. Then finally, then you want to add 2 series together. It says series 2 plus series 2. It will give you an output of the sum of the 2 of them. Then finally, you can add, if you add a table with a series that don't match or some values are missing, when it adds the final value, it will give you a non-existent value. So you can try that out. Then we now finally deal with Pandas data frame. Pandas data frame is a 2-dimensional data structure like 2-dimensional array or table with rows and columns. So to import Pandas data frame, we say import Pandas as PD. Then you destructure the data frame. Data is equals to name, Paul, LC, color, age, this, sex, M, FF. Then to load the data into the data frame object, you say DF, which is data frame, just a notation, equals to PD.dataFrame. Then you pass the data. So if this one is, whatever this represents here, that's what you put in the function. And you now say print DF because everything here is in DF. When you say print DF now, and it now prints it, the output will be this. Then finally, okay, let's go down a bit. Then to display specific data in a frame, we say name if you want to put name, or it will display all the name. If you want to display, let's say age, and you run it, you can see it displays all the age here. Then if you also want to display, you can, this is another way to display the name. Just put dot, instead of putting it in bracket, dot df name. When you df.name, you run it, it will give you just the name. Okay, if you do the same thing, say df.age, age, you run it, will give you all the age. Fine. Then we'll come to, you want to delete a particular thing from a data frame, so df name, you remove the name, only the age and the sex will be shown. Then finally df.weight, you want to add something, you add a value, a new tabular two-dimensional array to it. Weight is equals to 3045. Then you see print df, it will give you this. So when you run it, it will give you this output because you have added weights. So we have come to the end of this lesson. So what have we treated so far? We have treated tuples, strings, dictionaries, sets, NumPys, and Pandas. So if you have any questions or there are areas you need more clarifications, please feel free to drop your comments and let us know. My name remains Vincent Hope.